Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here today with our second Cabral HouseCall of the weekend, episode 2494. This is where we answer all of our community's questions each and every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, and usually we're able to get to 6 questions each day, so a dozen for the weekend. As I always say, I never prep for the show. I always love to be able to be, not surprised, but I like to see what the community is saying for the very first time when I open up the Ask Cabral document and I read all of the questions that come in. So that is what we do every Saturday, every Sunday. We love answering your questions. Just keep in mind, they take about 12 to 13 weeks to get back to. And if you have a same-day question, if it's a customer-based question, head on over and just email support@equa.life. But if it is a wellness, health-based question you want some advice on, feel free to head on over to cabralsupportgroup.com and just drop a question right over there, and they'd be happy to get back to you. All right, so we're going to get into the show. We'll give you our standard disclaimer. No medical advice, no medical treatment plans, no medical diagnosis, no medical cures. No medical anything at all. What we're here to do is share with you the best of natural health, how to find the underlying root causes that are holding you back from having dis-ease in the body in the first place. So the body gets so healthy, dis-ease cannot exist. All right, let's get started. First question, let's see, it's from Simon. And if you want to read along today, head on over to stevencabral.com/2494. That is today's episode number. Simon says, hi, Dr. Cabral. I have a quick question on sugar versus non-caloric sweeteners such as xylitol, erythritol, mannitol. I mostly eat a very healthy Mediterranean diet. However, sweets are my guilty pleasure. I try not to eat too much sugar and avoid artificial sweeteners at all costs. So lately I've been buying some ice cream and chocolate sweetened with xylitol and erythritol, assuming they would be better for me, but deep down I'm wondering whether a bit of sugar would actually be better than these additives. I've listened to your podcast on natural non-nutritive sweeteners, but I've never heard you directly compare them to sugar and say which is the healthier choice. For context, I'm fit, I'm healthy, good insulin sensitivity, but I've suffered from IBS-D, irritable bowel syndrome, in the past. Thanks. Okay. Happy to answer this question, and I have answered this question, but I'm always happy to answer it again. And the thing is this. I do not recommend any sugar alcohols. I don't. And the reason is because I work with so many people with so much bloating, gas, digestive distress, and these prebiotic sugar alcohols can actually foster the development and growth of candida and or bacterial overgrowth. So again, if you have a healthy gut microbiome, maybe they're okay. I'm just not a huge fan. So xylitol can be fine as a mouthwash, toothbrush-based additive for a sweetener because it's actually been shown to help with dental cavities. But again, not needed, but maybe use it just that way. But you're really talking about should it be added to food. In my opinion, the best sweeteners out there are stevia, monk fruit, and maybe some lohan if that does not bother your digestive system. So those are my favorites. Not a huge fan of sugar alcohols. Some people do perfectly fine with them. They do. I'm not saying that they don't. I just do not recommend them. And yeah, that's that. But again, I know that some people do absolutely fine with them. So again, I'm just throwing that out there. If it were me and I were looking to do a non-sugar sweetened thing, which I do, like again, if I'm making things, then I use stevia. That's my main one. And I maybe a little bit of monk fruit as well. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. So Luke, and again, I don't really even want to compare it to sugar because if you're able to eat some sugar, like some naturally sweetened things with maple syrup, or raw honey, that's totally different. And you may decide to do that. That might work for you, but I didn't want to compare that to a non-calorie based sweetener, all right? So again, my recommendation, stevia, monk fruit, etc. All right, Luke's up next. This is a long question, so I'm going to give you my abbreviation of it just so that we're able to keep these to the 20-minute time frame we try to with all shows. So Luke says, I've been through quite a lot, from going to the gym 6 days a week, eating relatively balanced, healthy, and happy, to one day, January 2nd, 2021, massive panic attack. I thought I was going to die. 2 weeks later, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, burning sensations all over my body, brain fog, ended up with 30 plus chronic symptoms. Functional medicine, I've healed 20 of the 30 symptoms I was experienced, but some still remain. I'm a strong believer that Epstein-Barr virus might have caused all this. Remaining symptoms, warm sensation, feels like someone poured warm milk down the left side of my calf mainly, but also arm, sometimes my head. The ER says these warm sensations are nothing to worry about and go home. That's not very good advice. Ectopic beats, could be Epstein-Barr virus or parasite, 6-month parasite protocol. I still have blasto hominis, but I got 80% better. Was it ever the parasite? A lot of people said it is super bad. Okay, let's see. I tried targeted supplements like everything in your parasite protocol, and also did 10-day detox of anti-parasitic. All right, understood. And this is, so you said, what am I missing? All right, so what we're missing is that we have not looked at what the inside of the body looks like, meaning you probably haven't run your minerals and metals test yet, right? So what if you have POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, right? We're not going to give you a diagnosis, but we can show you if you have upside down calcium and magnesium and upside down sodium and potassium on that lab. What if you have higher levels of copper to lower levels of zinc? That's important to look at it, right? What if you have high levels of any heavy metal on that lab test? Mercury, aluminum, cadmium, arsenic, right? Lead. So again, we want to look at those. That's just the minerals and metals test. I don't think it's too high levels of omega-6 to omega-3s to cause all this, but that's certainly not going to help, right? What if you have really low levels of cortisol, right? And you're not able to push back inflammation, like you're moving into more of a chronic fatigue-based state, right? Not quite Addison's, but maybe chronic fatigue-based. So we want to look at these, and these are all on the Big Five. StephenCabral.com/labs. You can find all of these, and you don't have to run them all, but certainly I would run the starter kit, okay? That's the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. Look at all your vitamin levels, all your mineral levels, your gut function. We need to see what's going on, right? If you still have 10 symptoms left, we need to get to the bottom of that, right? So instead of guessing what it is, what it could be, we need to figure out what it is. And then I don't know if you've done the Equilife parasite protocol, but I know you're already 80% better from that, which is great. But it's a very powerful, it's called a para support protocol, very powerful protocol as well. So it sounds like you're getting there for sure. I would just love to give you a more targeted approach. That's how I work. That's how we're different, is we can give you a targeted approach, okay? So you're doing great. You're already on the mend. I know you want to be better sooner. Like, I totally get it. You're going on to year 3 right now. 1, 2, yeah, this is 2 years, right? So by the time you get this, it'll be almost 2 years. So I get it. I understand. I was there for 10 years and it doesn't, I get it. You want to figure it out now, right? You've suffered long enough. So I understand. Let us help you, or another integrative health practitioner, level 2, or naturopathic doctor. You can run the labs with them. And that's what I recommend. Because everybody else, again, I would be guessing, everybody else is guessing, unless we know what we're working on. Joy's up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. My concern is related to pancreatic insufficiency. After years of being treated for CBO, then SIBO, plus ongoing treatment, so basically bacterial overgrowth and candida, you're going for ongoing treatment for past trauma and still no improvement, actually feeling worse with more bloating and gas. My gastroenterologist did more stool testing. The results showed pancreatic insufficiency. I'm told the only way to treat this is by taking the prescription digestive enzymes. I was also just told that the enzymes, I'll be fine, I should be able to eat. Okay, so yeah, let's get you the help that you need. My highest recommendation is you figure out what is going on with your digestive system. There's 4 main parts to it, all right? Well, technically there's 5. There's weak digestion, all right? So there's lack of stomach acid production. That's certainly part of it, okay? There can be lower esophageal sphincter issues, but you're not talking about acid reflux. All right, so then we have H. pylori in the stomach. Okay, that can lead to pancreatic or other insufficiencies in digestion. Then we have candida overgrowth. Then we have bacterial overgrowth. Then we have parasites, right? So my recommendation is, if you're going to do the stool testing, good, just test for all of those, all right? Then, if you've never done the CBO protocol yet, please, by all means, if you need to do both, parasupport protocol first, intestinal cleanse, then CBO protocol, then CBO finisher. Like we do that, tens of thousands of times a year in our practice. So that's what I'm recommending. If there's an issue there, again, no medical treatment, and we're just looking at underlying root causes. And then how do you strengthen your digestive system? Got a free podcast on that. So do feel free to ask at cabralsupportgroup.com if you can't find out where it is. But basically, you do a little ginger tea at your meal for heat if you want, or betaine HCl and pepsin if you don't have H. pylori. And then you can do 2 to 3 of the daily digestive enzymes with the meal. Those aren't prescription-based. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not telling you not to listen to your doctor. I don't know what prescription digestive enzymes they're talking about, but certainly, we can look towards that. All right. So all of these things can be found. Everything I talk about inside of our practice, you can find, because we open source everything, is at stevencabral.com/shop. You can look up parasupport. You can look up CBO protocol. You can look up daily nutritional support. You can look up daily digestive enzymes. All those things you can look up. All right. And again, then just let us know if there's questions. Joan says, hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm addicted to your podcast. Thanks, Joan. Appreciate that. It's a healthy addiction. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us for free. My question, I know you said something to the effect that anything that's wrong with the body can be fixed or reversed, but does that pertain to mental health issues as well? I'm 57. I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I've been taking SSRIs for 30 years. I'm worried that there will be poor long-term side effects. I'm also afraid to wean off because I've tried that and it wasn't pretty. Thank you for your help, Joan. Okay. So, yes, I absolutely believe, I haven't changed my mind, that everything is fixable and reversible. Now, there are some things, again, I've mentioned this before. If you have actual, let's say you got rheumatoid arthritis and you didn't do anything about it for 20 years and you have disfiguration of the joints, literally the bone's fused, or not fused, but it's overgrown. There's all sorts of inflammation there. The inflammation can be gotten rid of, but the bone disformation may still remain. Okay, so that's that. Now, there's also terminal-based issues that have just gone on way too long. So like 2 weeks to live with pancreatic cancer, that's a tough diagnosis, right? Like that's a tough diagnosis. I'm not going to say that it's not. Have some people survived it? Yes. So there's always hope, and you should always keep hope alive. But for anybody not given a terminal-based diagnosis or had any fusing of joints or complete wearing away of the myelin sheath on their nervous system, I mean, they even found that 9 out of 10 cases of Alzheimer's are reversible, except terminal Alzheimer's. And I have free podcasts on all these things as well. So yes, I believe it. Now, SSRIs for 30 years. We need to look at what is going on with underlying methylation issues, digestive issues, and bacterial imbalances in the gut, not enough serotonin being produced, or other factors as well, like in the body. So yes, but yet you can't just come off SSRIs, and I'm not recommending that. So first you figure out what is going on. Second, you start to improve the gut microbiome to produce more serotonin. You improve the gut permeability so that it's normal permeability. You decrease overall inflammation. You start using things like the daily foundational protocol level 2 or level 3, omegas, daily fruit and vegetable blend, the methylated vitamins inside of the daily nutritional support powder, like the daily probiotic support. These are the things that you do, get the body super healthy. Then you're like, oh, I'm feeling really good, even better mood. Let me start working with my endocrinologist, or who would you be working on this? PCP, whoever you might be working on with this. Psychologist, psychiatrist, again, whoever you're working with. And then you might say, listen, I want to start trying to produce more of my own serotonin. So I might start using a little bit of activated B complex extra, plus some 5-HTP. And you're going to be working with the practitioner. And I might try to wean a little bit with you, the smallest little bit of the SSRI. But again, I'm not giving medical advice, so that's your choice if you decide to try to wean or not. Either way, I just recommend looking for that underlying root cause as to why you may not be producing as much of the serotonin as you would like or need. Okay? All right, Thomas is up next. What would you do about a high AG ratio? My albumin has been high for 2 years in a row, and this year my globulin level got closer to the bottom of the range, triggering a high AG ratio. I do the quarterly Dr. Cabral detox and typically add in blueberries and sweet potatoes day 3 since I'm apt to losing weight. You are the GOAT. Thank you for leading the way to better health around the world. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate that. All right. So let's see if we can answer your question. So for those people out there, when you run a typical blood work panel with your PCP, they are going to run albumin and they're going to run globulin. All right. So if you have a high level of albumin, I don't know if your doctor told you this, but 90+% of the time it's dehydration. So that's an easy one to fix if that's what it is. Again, not giving medical advice, but 90+% of the time it's dehydration if you have a high albumin level. Now, a low level, totally different. Low albumin level is potentially low stomach acid, kidney issues, liver issues, a lot of oxidative stress. You need more antioxidants, et cetera. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see. So that was albumin. You asked about globulin. And this year, my globulin level got closer to the bottom of the range. Okay, so albumin was high and globulin was low. And when globulin is low, that's typically looking at lower levels of the immune system, potentially lower levels of zinc, lower levels of vitamin C. So maybe you're low in vitamin C. Maybe you're low in zinc. Like, look at the immune protocol. Again, not giving medical advice. The immune protocol, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc with copper. So like that's a pretty solid program. I would look into that and just make sure there's no digestive issues. So anybody with these issues as well, I'm always having them run the gut bundle if possible. If not, the bacteria and parasite stool test. And ideally the other two, which is the Candida metabolic and vitamins test and the food sensitivity. All right. So that's, that's, if you were in my practice, you showed up with these numbers, that's exactly what we'd be looking at. Now, I don't have the rest of your labs, but again, that's what I'd be doing. All right. Keep on keeping on. Margie's up next. And do we have time? Let's see. This is a big question. We are going to save this question for our next show. So Margie, you will be up next. And that is it for our Cabral House Calls for the weekend. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We've got a big week coming next week, so definitely stay tuned. Starting with tomorrow's Mindset and Motivation Monday. Have an amazing rest of the weekend. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.